Black Migrations panel discussion. And so you see, oh, do we need, I think I can speak loud. And so welcome, thank you all for coming. We have some distinguished guests in the house. Dr. Massey is here with us today, thank you for coming out. We have some wonderful students who have traveled far and wide to be here, so thank you all for coming, so give yourselves a hand. And we have the illustrious Miss Marjorie Harrell, a community activist and a former student of Zora Neale Hurston, who is here as well with her guests. And of course we have Dr. Salucian Joseph, one of our own in-house academic scholars in this area of the Black diaspora and Haitian studies. So we're excited to have him here as well. We'll tell you about some of our other guests as we move forward. But I wanted to kind of set the stage here of why Black migrations is something that we're talking about today. And well, one, it's because it's this is a part of a national discussion that's being had during Black History Month about Black migrations, and it is their theme for this year, and so we decided to also adopt that theme. But once we started thinking about it as a committee, we recognized that there's a lot of migrations other than just the Black migration that could connect to different students and different individuals, and so there's a lot of internal immigration or migration going on in the United States alone. So if you look at this diagram here, the blue shows a lot of people moving from the northeast to the south, just like myself, right? 15 years ago, over 15 years ago now, I moved from New York to Florida, and you can imagine what kind of culture shock that was for me. And quite a few students, some who are in the house today, have had that similar migration story. And so we then see, of course, individuals moving from the south back up to the north, and then migrations across the country going on as well. So migration is not just a Black story, it is a universal human story that all of us can share together. If we think about U.S. immigration patterns, there are several different patterns that are going on and occurring right now as we speak. Right? Tons of individuals moving from South America, the Caribbean, Central America, into the United States, and then of course individuals moving from the Far East into California and the western part of the United States. So immigration and migration is a human condition that we are so proud to discuss and talk about. And then when we think about migration in the 21st century, there's a lot of really cool research out there as well. And so this research being compiled by the Global Compact for Migration says that migrants make significant contributions to both their host and home countries. So of course you can delve into that, but we see certain examples of that with countries that are in very close proximity to the United States, such as Haiti and Cuba, and other places in the Caribbean, where individuals work here, do business in those spaces, and also contribute to the economy here in America. So it's really amazing to look at those statistics and that information. What's kind of cool for me, and I wanted to share this with you all, if you haven't read Zora Neale Hurston's new book, right, which came out in May of 2018, you should get your hands on it. It's named Barracoon, or it's entitled Barracoon. And in that book, it talks about the transatlantic slave trade, which of course happened right up until the mid-1800s here in the United States. And so she documents the last individual, the last cargoer, the last person who was brought over from Africa to the United States. At that time, it was illegal, and it was still going on. But we know that this was an economic trade of goods, one being of people, and then of cotton, and then of guns and other materials. And so on the bottom right here, for those of you who have seen Black Panther, can I see the hands of anybody out there who's seen Black Panther? On the left-hand side here, you see a depiction of the Dora Milaje, who are in that movie. But on the right-hand side, you see a picture of the actual Dahomey women from Dahomey, Africa, who fought against the British and whooped their butts, right? Several times until the British had to bring in additional forces, additional ammunition to overcome the Dahomey women warriors. They were actually, they actually existed. They're not just a figment of Marvel's imagination. So I definitely wanted you to see that and to know about that trade that has occurred. So that's just a really small introduction to migration. Because of this transatlantic slave trade, that's why we have so many Africans or people of African descent in places like Brazil. And we have a student here from Brazil who represents that migration. And then, of course, people from the Caribbean. Dr. Salucian Joseph himself immigrated to the United States from the Caribbean. And then, of course, myself, an individual who, when I trace back, my lineage goes back to the 1600s right here in the United States. But we, of course, have had several migrations within my family as well. So we want to hear about these migration stories. But without further ado, we have a student who is going to present to us a poem. And the reason why we asked this particular student or these students to come and share this particular art form is because these forms of art are a part of the things that these African individuals brought over with them on those boats, right? They did not have clothing, they didn't have things that they could carry on, but they had their voices, they had their feet, they had their hands, and with these items, they created music and they created art. And so we want to get a small representation of that art today through the spoken word. And so without further ado, I introduce to you Antravius, better known as Character the Glitch.
No, that's okay. I don't really need a mic. Thank you, though. I am sure. Is everybody going to stay back there in the back row? Nobody's going to move up? Y'all good. You good back there? You can hear me? You don't want to move up? Not even a little bit? No, you're not moving. Hey, how you doing? Appreciate everybody who sat in the front row. You know, it's only like 12 people here. Alright, so, once again, I'm Character the Glitch. My government name is Antravius. My mom named me that. That's actually an African name. That's besides the point. I should just get to the poem, right?
Yes.
Yeah? Can you guys hear me back there?
No.
Get the mic.
No? You can't hear me back there?
You need a mic.
Could you just use the
Do I need a mic? I mean,
Use the mic.
Can
You're being
you
recorded.
just use the mic, please, so that they can hear
are you? My voice is loud.
They
Though.
may be hard of hearing.
Hello? See, this is so uncomfortable now. Is there a mic stand somewhere? I don't like mics. I have a loud voice. Can you, somebody, everybody can hear me now?
We
Yes?
hear you.
Yes.
Yes. Is there a mic stand somewhere?
There is not a mic.
There's not a mic stand anywhere? Are you sure? I guess.
Okay. Okay.
Alright. We'll do this one. And then they moved up. It's crazy.
Trying to make you comfortable.
Alright. Are you sure I need this? I'm about to just. I'm sorry. I can't do it. Can you hold this, sir? I'm just going to project a little bit. I'm just going to project a little bit. I can't do it. Yo, what's up, my jigger? You know Jigger, like Jigaboo, them cotton-picking jiggers who have to shuck and jive for all they food, what it do? To all my coons in them suits who know that ignorance was tailor-made for our culture is true. I live in the proof. I mean, it's supposed to be the land of the free man, but they don't want that boy in here. What, he think he a free man? Thought I could stop fighting so hard when Barack said, yes, we can, but I'm still in those barracks, coldly preparing for war. And they don't understand my anger, like, what are you fighting for? You right. Us black folks dumb, cause we was taught by y'all saints then prayed that they come. A white robe could be an angel, or I could get hung. Y'all must think this fun. The adrenaline is stepping outside. It's all do or die. We messed up, letting y'all say nigga in car rides. See, to y'all it's just rap, but that's my life. Whew, man. Right in the middle of it. To y'all it's just rap, but that's my life. I really don't want to check my phone either, but I might. I'm checking it. No, I'm not checking it. I know it's alright. To y'all it's just rap. leaves me conflicted. Let me tell you why. Because everybody wants to be a jigger, but nobody want to be a jigger when it's time to be a jigger. Boo, and I would be saying nigga, but y'all say that like y'all was in the fields with us too, but don't know what it's like to see a cop and catch your pride with a noose. Don't know what it's like to see a cop and catch your pride with a noose. We know there's no love for us here. Y'all just love what we do. Like as long as that boy is running fast, jumping high, and making points when he shoots.
It's wrong, I think.
I'm gonna end it there because this is really violent. I didn't realize how violent this got until I was in front of people. This gets like very anti-violent.
It's all right.
Are you sure?
You want to start?
Are you sure?
Pull out your phone, bro. Do it.
No, it's not that I have to pull up my phone. I'm realizing how anti-white this phone
You're
gets.
gonna do it. Do it.
Like, not intentionally, but it just gets kind of like
It's all right.
y'all positive.
It's all right, bro. Give it to him.
I'm gonna start over.
Get your phone.
I'm gonna start
You
over.
know, he was trying to weed out something.
I was trying to.
Trey.
Don't weed that now.
And share your
Do it. You're gonna do it. Do it.
You just teaching us persistence, man.
I just, cool. Hey, how you doing? You good?
This meeting, yeah.
Take two. Don't judge me. Who had their phones out? Okay. Just cut the video and start it over. No, you can record.
Sorry.
All right.